When you finally reach the age where the state pension is meant to give you some peace of mind, the last thing you expect is for some of your benefits to vanish overnight. Yet, that's exactly what happens the moment you hit state pension age, and for many people this change comes as a complete shock. My name is David, and today I'm going to uncover what really happens to your benefits at 66, why so many pensioners are caught off guard, and the one scheme that far too many people are missing out on, even though it could make life so much easier. And let me say this clearly, by understanding fully you have to watch the complete video, because if you only see half or skip in between, you simply won't understand how all of this connects and what you could actually be missing. Now, let me ask you this, did you know that the Department for Work and Pensions actually cuts off several benefits the very day you reach state pension age? That's right, benefits you may have relied on for years simply stop. Universal credit? Gone. Jobseeker's allowance? Gone. Employment and support allowance? Also gone. Even personal independence payment, PIP, can no longer be started once you've crossed that age threshold. Instead, you're expected to switch to something else, but the catch is that most people don't even know what that something else is until it's too late. And here's where it gets interesting. While these benefits vanish, there are new forms of support that open up, but only if you know about them and apply in time. For example, attendance allowance is what replaces new PIP claims after state pension age. It's worth up to £108.55 a week, yet thousands of pensioners never claim it simply because nobody told them they could. Then there's pension credit, a lifeline for single pensioners on less than £218.15 a week or couples under £332.95. Not only does it top up your income, but it also acts as a gateway to extras like free TV licenses for over 75s. And this is where so many people lose out, because missing this one step can cost you thousands of pounds every year. But here's the part that should make you sit up and really pay attention. There's a scheme most people don't even realize exists, and yet it can ease one of the biggest worries in later life, the cost of a funeral. It's called the funeral expenses payment, and for those who qualify, it can cover up to £2,000 of costs. Think about that for a moment. At a stage in life when many are stressed about bills, heating, and daily expenses, this little-known support could be the very thing that lifts a huge weight off your shoulders. Yet most pensioners miss it completely, not because they are not entitled, but because they simply don't know how or when to claim. So the big question is this, why are these benefits being cut off exactly at state pension age, and what do you really need to do to protect yourself from losing out? In this video, I'll walk you through every benefit that ends, the ones that replace them, and the hidden schemes that could make a real difference in your life. Stick with me, because the information you're about to hear isn't just important, it could be the difference between struggling and having that little extra breathing space in retirement. When you finally reach state pension age, many people think it will mark a simple transition into a more secure stage of life where you can stop worrying about work and focus on enjoying your retirement. Yet the reality is far more complicated. In fact, the very day you turn 66, several key benefits that you may have relied on for years can vanish overnight, leaving many pensioners confused and even financially worse off. What makes this even more challenging is that the system does not always explain clearly what disappears and what takes its place. This is why so many pensioners miss out on thousands of pounds in support simply because they are unaware of the changes, or they fail to claim the alternative benefits that are available. Understanding these changes is not just about money, it's about peace of mind, stability, and making sure you do not fall through the cracks at a time in life when financial security matters more than ever. Let's start with the most dramatic change, the end of universal credit at state pension age. For people below pension age, universal credit is often the main support if you are unemployed or on a low income, but the moment you reach 66, universal credit stops completely. It does not matter if your financial circumstances remain the same or if you still struggle to make ends meet, you can no longer receive it. Instead, the replacement is pension credit, a benefit designed specifically for pensioners with lower incomes. Pension credit is hugely valuable, yet underclaimed. It can top up a single pensioner's income to £218.15 a week or a couple's combined income to £332.95 a week. But beyond this, pension credit is a gateway benefit, unlocking extras like free NHS dental care, free TV licenses for over 75s, help with housing costs, and even support with council tax. Sadly, about 850,000 pensioners are still not claiming it, meaning billions of pounds go unclaimed every year. This is why it's so important to know that even though universal credit disappears at 66, pension credit could actually leave you better off if you apply. Another benefit that vanishes at state pension age is Jobseeker's allowance. This makes sense on the surface, since the assumption is that once you reach pension age, you are no longer expected to actively seek work. But for people who may still want or need to work past 66, this can feel like an unfair cutoff. The government assumes that the state pension and other age-related benefits will take over, but the transition is rarely smooth. The same is true for employment and support allowance. This benefit, designed for those unable to work due to illness or disability, also ends at state pension age. For many, this is deeply worrying, as their health conditions do not suddenly vanish just because they turn 66. What replaces it depends on individual circumstances, but most people will need to look at attendance allowance if they develop or continue to have care needs in later life. Personal independence payment, or PIP, is another crucial benefit that pensioners often misunderstand. While you can continue receiving PIP if you claimed it before reaching state pension age, you cannot start a new PIP claim after turning 66. This often surprises people who develop new health problems later in life. Instead, the alternative is attendance allowance, which can provide up to £108.55 a week to help with care needs. Attendance allowance is tax-free and not means-tested, so it does not matter how much income or savings you have. The catch is that you must apply, and many do not even know it exists. For countless pensioners struggling with daily living, claiming attendance allowance could make a world of difference. Beyond these major benefits that vanish, there are also other forms of support that shift once you hit pension age. For example, income support, a benefit that helps people on low income who do not sign on for Jobseeker's allowance, also disappears. Instead, again, the replacement is pension credit. This is why pension credit is often called the cornerstone of retirement support. If you do not claim it, you miss out on a whole network of additional help. Pension credit also links to cold weather payments and winter fuel payments, both designed to help older people keep warm during the winter months. The winter fuel payment is particularly well known, a one-off annual payment worth up to £300, depending on your age and circumstances. It lands automatically for most pensioners, but if you are newly entitled, you need to make sure you claim it. Cold weather payments, on the other hand, trigger automatically when temperatures drop below freezing for 7 days in a row. These payments may be smaller, but they can still add up during tough winters. Housing support is another area where pensioners sometimes lose out. Once you reach state pension age, you can no longer claim housing benefit as part of universal credit. Instead, housing costs are handled through pension credit or separate housing support schemes. Council tax reduction remains available, but the rules differ from local authority to local authority, which makes it more complicated. Many pensioners also do not realize that surviving partners cannot claim the new-style bereavement support payment if they are over state pension age. However, they may still be able to claim part of their late partner's state pension, which can ease the financial impact of bereavement. Of course, not every benefit vanishes at 66. Some new entitlements kick in, making retirement a little easier. Free NHS prescriptions and free eye tests in England are valuable extras. Seniors can also apply for the Senior Rail Card, which cuts train fares by a third, offering real savings for those who still enjoy travelling around the country. For people with mobility issues, the Blue Badge scheme continues to provide parking benefits, and free bus passes ensure that older people can stay mobile and connected. These smaller benefits may not replace the major ones that stop, but together they form part of the safety net designed to support pensioners. The reason so many people feel blindsided at state pension age is because the government does not always make the cutoff rules clear. When you are approaching 66, you might think life will simply continue with a new income from your state pension. But in reality, the shift is much more complex. Universal credit, Jobseeker's allowance, employment and support allowance, income support, and new PIP claims all end. Unless you know about the alternatives, pension credit, attendance allowance, winter fuel payments, funeral expenses payment, you risk losing out. The system expects you to ask the right questions and fill in the right forms, but too many people only discover what has changed after their income suddenly drops. This is why it is so important to spread awareness and explain these changes clearly. Retirement should be a time when you can focus on enjoying the years ahead, not worrying about which benefits you are losing or which ones you forgot to claim. The government itself estimates that billions of pounds in pension credit alone go unclaimed each year, money that could transform the lives of pensioners living on tight budgets. Attendance allowance, too, has low uptake despite the fact that it can provide much-needed weekly support. And when it comes to funeral costs, too many families are left struggling, simply because they did not know a funeral expenses payment was available. So the real message here is simple: reaching state pension age is not the end of support from the DWP, but it is a turning point. Yes, some benefits vanish overnight, but others step in to take their place. If you are aware of them, you can make sure your finances remain stable. If you are not, you risk missing out on money that you have every right to claim. It is not about taking more than you deserve, it is about understanding what you are entitled to, what changes at 66, and how to make the system work for you rather than against you. By knowing the details, you protect yourself, you protect your family, and you make sure your retirement years are not clouded by unnecessary financial stress.